Hello everyone, and my name is Andrew, and I'm here to do a video of our business that we've commenced with my wife and me. And our business is basically, we've got a little bit of feedback from the first video I released, and I've looked at those feedbacks and I'm going to adjust this video accordingly so that everyone can know what's going on from the beginning. So a couple of months ago, well, I've been thinking about this for a while now, but a couple of months ago, me and Lady talked about actually running a business in this game and how viable it was. And I'd already been crafting and playing for nothing for a long time and realizing that I was getting a certain amount of percentage a month. And with a bigger investment, this percentage could be passed on to investors and we'd be able to gain skills. So everyone gets something out of it. The investors get 10% a month. We get some skills. So 10% a month is better than anything else in the game that pays. Better than AUDs, better than CLDs or even Crystal Palace shares, I think. Haven't done the math, but 10% on your money every month is better than any bank anyway. And I'm going to explain this to someone that's never heard of it before. So from the outset, we have got higher skills in the game than a lot of people. So if you started playing this game yesterday, you wouldn't be able to do what we're just about to do. You need to play the game for a few years and invest a fair bit of money to be able to actually do what we're doing. And what we're doing is, I'll start with this document in front of me here, and it says, how do we make money? Well, we make money by selling components, weapons, and amplifiers in the game. So I'll come off this page for a sec and go onto our other page, which is here somewhere. Yep, open this up, click this, and go down to the auction section. So as you can see by this list here, we make money by buying raw materials and selling them in items for markup. There's all the percentages on the left hand side, profit and loss column on the right hand side, and total sales and cost here. So I'm just going to go to my questions page here. Simply an explanation about the business, right? So we started our test with 8100 PED. The business is based on 10,000 PED. We started with 8,100 PED as a test to see if we could actually turn over the money for the business and make the 10%. That's basically what the test was, just to see if we could make 10% on 8,000 PED. So this column spreadsheet here is basically a month's worth of selling and buying. I went from the 22nd of November to the 22nd of December, and I've finished up down here. And I've started on the 23rd, and of course you can see I've already got the business running again from the 23rd onwards. And I haven't been able to be on every day because of Christmas and everything. But basically, what these numbers up here mean is that these are my total sales in just markup. 2,450.68 PED in just markup. My actual total volume of PED turnover would be something like 10 or 12 or 13,000 PED. I'm not sure how much it is. You can go through and add it all up if you wanted to, but all I know is I made 2,450 PED in markup. I spent 1,191 PED in markup, and the profit in markup is 1,258 PED. The reason I say it this way is everyone knows how the game works. If you played Entropia for more than 2 or 3 months, you know how the game works. You don't just deposit in $100 and you get that $100 at the end of the day. It doesn't work that way. You deposit in whatever you deposit, and you might get it back a month later, a week later, 2 weeks later. You just don't know when it's going to happen. So this business model isn't based off you investing and that money getting cycled back out like a laundry machine every month. That's why we tell people, when you first invest with us, if you invest with us, that money is going to sit with us for at least 2 months. So if you want to pull your money out at the end of your first month, you have to tell us at the end of that first month, and then you will get your money at the end of the next month back if you want to pull out of the business at any time. I just thought I'd chuck that in there so that you knew what you were in for. Another question that got brought up on our feedback was, what happens if you invest I'll get to that in a sec. Investment is in 100 to 1,000 PED blocks. So you can invest as small as 100 PED. We don't go lower than that. And you can invest up to 1,000 PED. This investment block will be open to you from the 1st to the 3rd of every month. So you got 3 days, basically, to fill this block. Then after that, if we haven't filled up to 10,000 PED, anyone that wants to invest more than 1,000 PED is quite welcome to fill the rest of those blocks. But after seeing some of the feedback, some of the questions were asked was, what if you get to the end of that month and there's no room for anyone else to invest? Some guys put in 8,000 PED and his 8,000 PED is just making him that 10%. No one else gets a spot. It's not going to work that way. At the end of every month, that allocation of 10,000 PED goes back to 1,000 PED a person for those 3 days. And if somebody wants to come in and this person has 8,000 PED allocated in there, he'll only be able to invest his up to 1,000 PED for those 3 days. And the same rule will apply at the beginning of every month. If no one else fills the rest of the 10,000 PED up and that guy's quite happy to put his 8,000 PED back into the business, well, then he's going to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, we need that 10,000 PED filled every month. So we don't really care if it's one guy or 15 or 30 people that's doing that, but we want to give everyone an equal opportunity at the beginning of every month to have a go. Put in your 100 PED, put in your 200 PED, put in your 300 PED or 1,000 PED. You put in more, but somebody that's already invested with us before will have prior opportunity to invest past the 3rd. So if we get to the 3rd and we've got 3,000 PED left to fill, and there's 2 people that want to put extra money in, I'm just going to go, rightio, you guys are just going to have to split the amount. So there's 3,000 PED left to fill. You've already put in 1,000 PED. You can put an extra 1,500 PED in each. We'll just work it out at the end of the month. As you can tell by the way I'm describing it, you can't predetermine what's going to happen. All I can do is do my best with that thing, and we'll talk about it when the time comes. But that's how the investment structure works. Everyone gets equal opportunity at the beginning of every month, and people can openly invest between the 3rd and the 6th, I think we said, or the 5th. And then you can go gung-ho. We probably will take investments over 10,000 PED, but not too much over, because the whole business model is based on the 10,000 PED. When we first started this test, me and my wife, it was a trial and everything. At first we allocated materials to mining, PED to mining, PED to hunting, but that's participating in the game. And what that does is you participate in the game, like I explained just a little bit earlier. The game takes and then gives back when it feels like. That's an uncertain determining factor, and we can't have that in a business. Me buying in bulk is the reason we need this investment. I go to the auction house and I buy 3,000 PED of bell car for 101% or 100.5%, something like that, instead of 103%. I'm going to just open up the Entropia screen here and give you a bit of an explanation on that. As you can see here, this is today. I'm filming this today, and this is auction house I've just opened. And as you can see, if I wanted to buy Erionite ingot for 106%, I would need to invest 300 PED. Right there. That's just for one thing. I need to buy probably 10 to 15 items, if not every day, every second day. And with a small bankroll, you can't go and throw 300 PED just at Erionite. This is what we are facing. This is what we're trying to defeat. If we are able to buy that 300 PED of Erionite and pay only 106%, we're not paying 111%, and that money adds up over the month, and that gives the dividends we can provide. And of course, build the business towards doing greater things over the 12 months. So we have a 12-month plan. We're going to run the business by selling mountings. I'll just go back to this page here. Okay, so as you can see, our sales. Nothing to hide here. It's all what everyone else does. They just sell stuff in the auction house. So we sell LR40s is the gun of choice that we sell, because I tailor my bank to sell those. So I'll buy Erionite Ignite, I'll buy fire root pellet, I'll buy materials to make simple 2 conductors, all the things I need to make those guns. And what I do is I use the residue from crafting all the components, when I've got enough, to craft some amps or some guns. I put them on the auction house for 110 or 115 or whatever percentage we get there, and we make markup on that, and we make markup on the components. This is how we've come to the total conclusion of profit here, by smartly using all the leftover stuff. The only thing we TT is robot residue. Later on down the track, robot residue is actually used to make tools. So we can make tools. They sell for 140%. But we're not there yet because we don't have a base thing happening, and my bank isn't tailored to make tools. What you'll find is if you tailor yourself to make one thing, you've pretty much got to fill your bank with that one thing. And to be able to have the amount of PED to be able to do tools and a heap of other stuff, well, you're talking about some serious bankroll there. 10,000 PED might not even be enough. But 10,000 PED is definitely enough to do this. So we craft guns, we craft mountings, metal mountings, and hard metal mountings. We buy weapon grips, we buy, adrenal oil, muscle oil. This brings me to another thing here. Where are we? We have got a trading platform. So anyone that isn't even an investor can participate in this and get a link to this page. I'm not going to put links in the video because I think that anyone's interested in investing should get links to this. I don't want people just to go on the internet and be able to get the links and look at all my data and everything. I'm happy to share my data with people that want to invest money or are even thinking about investing money, but I don't want it splashed all over the internet. So this is our trading page here. As you can see, we heavily buy mainly hunting oils, mainly robot stuff, and mining. We buy all these things from mining. Now, the reason I buy, I'm just going to explain this. The reason I buy Erionite on the auction house and stop mining for it is because it doesn't come up every day. You can go and hit a spot that's got Erionite all over the place on a Monday, and it might not even drop one bit of Erionite, and you need it to craft guns. Those are the types of random factors you can't have when you're running a business like this. Buy it off someone else that's got it in stock. It doesn't matter. You pay that little bit of markup, as you saw from my table here. You get the markup back. You determine that into the business. There is a cost in running a business, and that's the markup. You don't go out and mine for it and expect to hit it. It's not going to happen. So, by all means, if anyone becomes a full-time miner and they've got it and they want to sell it to make markup, be my guest. But we're not doing it. Our main business here is to turn material into items, raise our skills. At the moment, we're at mountings and hard metal mountings. We're going to branch beyond that. The next maybe 6-month plan is to branch beyond those two mountings and actually go into super alloy mountings, which are a higher level blueprint, which I have leveled to QR68, I believe, and durable hoods, which is Belcar and Blossarium and Garson Grease. The reason we've got robot heat sinks on here is because robot heat sinks are used to make super alloy mountings. Super alloy mountings sell for 160+% day in, day out. I'm just going to go back to this Entropia thing here and just type in super alloy mountings. Right, so as we can see, there's one page of super alloy mountings. This is our next step. We're already doing metal mountings, hard metal mountings. I sell them every day. People buy them every day. They're used to make guns and gun amps. The R-Matrix series opened all these doors for us. Super alloy mountings sell for 164%, day in, day out. If you look at the turnover in the market value, right, there you go. 3,000 PED of it got sold this week, 300 PED of it today. It's got pretty good turnover for something that's cost that much, because you need this to craft LR50s, you need this to craft BC50s. It's I believe it's a gun range between 50 and 60 that you need these items. A lot of players are actually at that level, and when Mayhem comes around, this price doesn't actually fluctuate that much. It's 160% in an off period when there's no Mayhem. So super alloy mounting is something we were gearing towards, but that's just to give you a look at what MU can be made if we go higher. Then you start going into the blueprint market, and there's plenty of other markets that are higher. So this is our this trading page here will be updated daily. I get on every morning, my time every morning. I look at the market, I see what's fair, I change the amounts we need. When someone buys something off us, I reduce these amounts. These amounts are just placeholders at the moment. They're just roughly what we would buy. So you can have a bit of a squish through that, pause the video and have a look through that. We're not going to buy 20,000 muscle oil a day. That's not realistic. I'm going to craft one run of simple one conductors maybe once every 3 days, and then turn that into simple twos, sell the remaining simple twos that I don't need to make guns or amps, use the ones that I need to make guns or amps. This way we're defeating buying the simple twos for markup, and we're making a little bit of PED from selling the off-casts. Do the same thing with hard metal mountings. That's how we sell hard metal mountings. We usually keep as many as we need to make guns and amps, sell the offcuts. That's what you do. So I'll just look at my questions here. We've got the trading options, investment pools and rules I've gone over, monthly summary, business plan for the next 12 months, long-term goals. All right, so I will touch on this. The long-term goal here is to go beyond the 10,000 PED, is to go to 100,000 PED. That's not just doing this. We're talking about component widget crafting and gizmo crafting. If you craft guns just like just a D1, day in, day out, I'm guaranteeing you do a 10,000 clicks of that, or you do 10,000 clicks of gizmo, you will get more gun blueprints that are sellable and craftable from gizmos than you will from the just a D1. Mindark changed this. They don't want anyone crafting those guns and crap anymore for blueprints. That's why they're bringing out the widgets and the gizmos. But not many people have bought into it because it's expensive. You got 7 component widget blueprints to level. Then you've got 7 of each gizmo blueprint to level. And that's like 30 or 40 blueprints that you got to get to QR100. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of investment. But what's unique about it is the gizmo ones are generic. Gizmos are all generic. So if you craft gun gizmo ones, you can use those gizmos in attachment gizmo 2s, and then you can use those same gizmos in armor plating gizmo 3s. So the gizmos are all generic all the way up the chain. That's what's fantastic about them. And what the long-term goal is, we want to be able to figure out which level of gizmos. So we might do level 1 guns, level 2 attachments, level 3 armor plating, level 4 guns again, and be able to do this entire craft in 1 or 2 days and milk it the best way we can for blueprints, and either take some of the blueprints for ourselves to craft guns, armor plates and attachments with, and sell the offcuts, because we want to be able to do this cycle as often as we can and raise those skills and get those blueprints. That's when we're talking real profit. This 10,000 PED model will always exist. Once we go up after the 12 months to the 100,000 PED profit, that's where this will be at. So people will be able to invest up to 100,000 PED. But at the end of the 12 months, we're going to let people invest in our business. The way we're going to structure this is we're going to run this for 12 months. We're going to let people see the profit and loss, how it's gone through holiday periods and not through holiday periods, through low times. February's usually pretty crapola. Mid-gen, end of gen's usually pretty crapola. But I'm just saying, I've been able to sell these products day in, day out. It doesn't matter. Yeah, the sales are slower, but they still do sell. And the business still churns over. And for the last 2 years, it has done so. And actually, it's gotten better. Stuff sells way better now than it did 2 years ago. Once we get those gizmos and those blueprints pumping, and the holiday seasons come around, and people want those gun blueprints, you're talking 100,000% profit. So you manage to loot a 1 PED gun, it's worth 1,000 PED. A 1 PED gun blueprint, it's worth 1,000. Somebody will pay 1,000 PED for that blueprint. I'm talking LR50s, LR60s, BC80s, all those high-end guns that all the high-end players use, those blueprints sell. And sometimes in the past, I've looted those blueprints just from crafting LR40s, on-sold them for 100, 200, 300 PED. It's just profit for almost nothing. That's where the game will give you your money, and that's what we're aiming towards. So I've looked through the questions and think there's one more I've got to answer. Can you pay your investment in materials? Now, look, potentially you could, but you see a problem, don't you? I'm going to have 10 people walk up to me with muscle oil. So I'm going to have 10,000 pet of muscle oil. Guys, I can't do nothing with 10,000 pet of muscle oil except for TT it. I really don't see the difference between you going and selling that to someone at Twin Peaks and then just giving me the ped, or giving me the material and making a little bit of markup, or giving me a crap load of material I can't use all of. So you sell what we're willing to buy on this screen here, the trading screen. If you've got some muscle oil and we're looking for muscle oil that day, and it happens to be during the investment period, and you sell some to us, sell it to us. We'll pay you the markup, and then give us the ped that you want to invest. That's the best we can do. This screen here is the best we can do when it comes down to material trading. We can't include the material trading into the business only through this way. So I hope that answered that question. I don't think there's any other questions that I had on my screen. If there is, contact me or lady. I hope I've explained the business from the outset properly for those who've never heard of it before. You know, it is very simple. The beginning of the next month has already started. As you can see, we're already up 200 ped in profit. I've been going for, what's today, the 29th? So I've been going for 6 days. We're up 200 ped profit in 6 days. And that's my list there. That's 200 ped of profit. And that's because, if you look at the beginning of this list up here, right at the top, you actually have, okay, so you've got some mining finder purchases. You've got some, there's another mining finder purchase. You've got some mining amp purchases. There's 4 there. Mining amp purchases. Level 5 amps there. You know what I mean? That's not happening this month because we're not doing that anymore. We're just trading. We're just getting materials, crafting them into sellable items, and selling them to people. And that's why this month's already looking fantastic. Look at this. I've already bought oil and Belcar. I've already sold 3 amps there. I bought muscle oil. I actually bought that off one of our friends. And weapon grips. I talked to a guy. I might be buying them off him personally as well. But any of you are happy to farm these materials for us. Adrenal oil. You know what I mean? So business is looking up already. You've got till the 3rd to make your mind up. After the 3rd, you can invest more, but we need to rally up the 10,000 ped for me to do this. I know some people are only investing 100 ped here and there. That's fine. OWG's already done that. He's already been paid a month dividend. He has reinvested his 100 ped. He's happy to keep doing that. So that's fine. And yeah, like I said, any questions that you might have, and if you want a link to this page or any of our trading pages, just ask Lady. She will provide you the links. This particular sales page here, I think she can link you just that one page for you to just look through. No problem. And I'll speak to you in game.